Everyone, this session is being recorded. So you should know that we're recording. Please keep yourself muted during the meditation practices that we're going to be doing and the mindfulness practices, so it's helpful to keep the background noise to a minimum. The chat is open continuously. As you have questions at the end, we'll have time for discussion out loud, which will be fabulous if should you choose. But during the course of what I'm sharing, if comments or questions arise, please put them in the chat, and Sam is going to be answering them during the duration of our talk today. It's your choice. Please feel free to sit during this talk. Stand up. We do so much sitting. Feel free to do the standing. You are welcome to lay down. And if you're tired and you fall asleep during this talk because my voice puts you to sleep, that's awesome. That means you're tired. That's excellent stress management. Take a nap or walk. Sometimes we process better by pacing and by walking. So I want you to please feel free to do that as well. And so we're going to start. And we're going to start by settling into this moment. So if you would just check in with yourself as we're beginning. And in this moment, if you'd just type your name into the chat with a word or phrase that describes how you're feeling in this moment. And I'm going to do the same. However you're feeling, tired, grounded, anxious, hesitant, focused, cautiously optimistic, however you are is perfect, because that's where you are, hesitant, distracted, anxious, yeah. Lots of feelings we're touching into: tired, frustrated, jittery, exhausted, yeah. It's a range of feelings in this room that we're sharing, and we're just honoring where we are, because stress management, to mediate stress in our lives, is to first feel where we are, not resist it, not grasp it, not make it larger than it is, but to visit ourselves with kindness and compassion, feeling. And once we feel, we can deal. And then once we deal, we can heal. And it's as simple as that. So we're going to move into our first stress mediation practice, which is arriving. So arriving is a way to come into the present moment and allowing ourselves to not bring the earlier part of the morning into arriving into this moment, not rehearsing what's going to come after this moment, and just transition together into being from doing. And I'm going to lead you in a short practice that we call arriving. So arriving is a transition. And I'm going to, an artist named Penelope in Tennessee made this beautiful bell that I'm going to use for our workshop today. And the bell will begin our arriving. So allowing yourself initially to hear the sound of the bell. And so all of your attention begins to just focus as best as you can on the sound of this bell, inviting you into this moment, centering into this moment. And so what we're doing is we are on purpose and with intention arriving into this moment, So we're escorting the mind to have an object upon which it can focus to help us arrive, help us stop rehashing the past, stop from rehearsing the future, and just allow ourselves to arrive right here and now. And your eyes can be open on the beautiful picture Sam has chosen on this screen, or your eyes can be closed just to rest the vision. Eyes can get very tired from all the zooming and screening we do. And we're arriving over and over again, and it's not stopping the mind because that's impossible. We notice the mind is busy. We notice there's thinking. And then on purpose and with intention, we bring the focus of our attention on breathing. So arriving is a preliminary breathing practice. So what I'd like you to do is breathe into the entirety of your body. Just allow the body to receive breath and release the breath. So we're breathing into the wholeness of the body and exhaling. And if you want to make a sound on the exhale, please do. We are escorting our attention to arriving into this moment by focusing our attention simply on this body as it breathes, this beautiful body as it breathes. And you might notice just the physicality of arriving, of breathing, the feel of your feet on the ground, or of the cushion or the bed, the chair as it supports the body if you're sitting or lying down. And we're going to take 6 deep breaths together. And we'll just count on the exhale. So we're going to breathe in, silently count to yourself. The exhale, 1, and then just continue. 5 deep breaths, just counting on the exhale till you come to 6. And counting breath practice and body awareness calm the mind. They just naturally do. The relaxation response is triggered in the brain. The research of the neurophysiology of breathing practice, taking 6 deep breaths, and allows us to focus into arriving into this moment with clarity. It doesn't mean the mind isn't busy, but it's this practice of allowing ourselves to come into the moment. It's what we call showing up with compassion for yourself. And so you might ask yourself, we're breathing and knowing we're breathing, we're here in community practicing these mediations and the stressors in our lives. They're opening up this pathway, like the image on the screen, if your eyes are open, of this pathway. This pathway, and you might notice, where is your mind now? What do you need to give yourself permission for to have this shift in perception, the shift in experience into training the mind to deepen into noticing, into calming? Then you might allow yourself to cultivate, just like what Debbie and I were talking about when we started, this capacity to respond, to have this spaciousness between reacting into a space of responding. And that's what we call developing the witness and the participant. And that gets developed through noticing. Noticing develops a concentrated mind. So the second practice is an invitation into noting practice. So if your eyes have been closed, I invite you to open them. And I'd like you to notice in your environment 5 things that you can see. Just look around wherever you are. Look for small details, cracks on the ceiling, pattern on the rug, cat in the room, whatever it is. But just notice 5 things. And that's mindfulness of seeing. And now I'd like you to notice 4 things that you can feel. Maybe it's the texture of your chair, or the fur of your cat or dog if they're with you, the clothing on your skin, or sitting by a window or outside in the breeze. 4 things that you can feel. That's mindfulness of sensation. And next, notice 3 things that you can hear. Perhaps sirens outside the window, or the hum of traffic, or the clicking, if you have a dog, their nails on the floor, an airplane, the rustling of leaves, or simply the sound of my voice, or your breath. Just 3 things that you can hear. It's mindfulness of hearing. And next, notice 2 things that you can smell. It might be a meal you cook for breakfast, or again, your cat, a litter box, or your dog. The air. Just notice 2 things perhaps that you can smell. Mindfulness of aroma, of the senses. And then 1 thing, notice that you can taste. If you have a cup of tea or coffee next to you, perhaps take a slow sip. Or as you swallow, again, mindfulness of the moment, tasting. So mindfulness, what we just did, noting practice, cultivating a capacity to show up for ourselves with compassion for ourselves in this moment as we're seeing or hearing, feeling, noticing, and doing this, noting practice, hearing, feeling, tasting. It redirects our focus to the present moment, to arriving again, arriving away from the intrusiveness of the past, which creates anxiety, or the future, which is the past projected, usually anticipation of things that have yet not occurred, and the worry that that builds. So Breathing practice, noting practice, arriving allows us to mediate and cultivate a responsiveness into right now you are hearing my voice. That might be calming or not. And yet we're not ignoring what is here to be known, the stress. We reduce it by mediating it. So perhaps you've noticed difficulty sleeping or fearful anxiety, worries, distraction. It's real. I'm not denying that at all. But what I'm offering you is first feeling what is there. And we need to acknowledge we're not working from home. We're home during a crisis trying to work. And so we acknowledge what is there. And we're juggling children and families, expectations, this collective trauma of our communities, this lack of separation between personal and professional. It's here. It's here. And so another practice, an acute stress reduction practice that I really love, it's called stop. So stop practice is once we notice what is happening and we are ruminating, we are stuck in the rotten triggers of what is happening, we take a minute for breathing space to just stop. So what I like to do, I sort of joke, it's my Jewish heritage. I like to yell at myself lovingly, but I'll say, Rhonda, stop. So you might try that. You don't have to yell at yourself if that's not loving for you, but just say your name to yourself and say stop. And that simple telling yourself to stop helps us to recreate and reconnect with our natural resilience because we are breaking the autopilot and then we expand this into breathing. So stop practice is stopping and taking stock, checking in, breathing into the body, the head, heart, body, and notice if thinking is occurring. As you're breathing, are you talking to yourself in stressful ways? Are you telling yourself a story? Notice your heart. Are you present? What is the emotion in the heart? Are you mad? Are you sad? So we're stopping and taking stock. In the body, is there something in the body that's causing distress? Is there an emotion stuck in the body that's tension? So we breathe and we focus on breathing and we're taking one breath after the next and we're stopping and we're taking stock, we're noticing. And in this breathing, we're directing our awareness just to the anchor of breathing. So we're moving the focus of our mind, perhaps to the feel of your feet, anchoring in the feet. And so do that now. We're stopping. This is the practice. We are taking stock, we're noticing, we're taking a breath. That's the T of stop, and we're observing. We're living in the present by observing. And then we proceed with new possibilities because we find ourselves veering into getting lost in that embodied thought or emotion, and we stop. We take a breath, we take stock, we observe, and we proceed with curiosity as best as we can, with this ability to be kind for ourselves. And whatever might occur, we are building the training of the mind to come back into the moment. So arriving and breathing and noticing and stopping, all of these practices that we've just done together in the last 20 minutes have begun to build resilience. This de-stressing through the building of our capacity to respond. And it's a gift to our own health, our physiology, and our mental health, our ability to use mindful inquiry as we notice thinking without getting lost in the narratives and the stories of what that thinking may be creating. And using mindfulness and breathing, which is a mindfulness practice, contemplation, it's unique to each of you, but resilience, building our ability to navigate, not resist, not grasp, but navigate. And there are many ways to build resilience. Sleeping well, finding a way to sleep well, ideally not being on your computer or your device an hour before going to bed will help the melatonin naturally in the body to create the letting go into sleep mode. You might listen to a body scan meditation, and I'm going to send that to everyone should you want to do a meditation to help sleep. Exercise, eating well, connecting with loved ones, all build resilience. But there's a practice I'd like us to do next. It's a resilience practice. It's a gratitude practice. So here too, on purpose and with intention, we build resilience through realistic optimism by creating practices with intention, with intention. And so that's on purpose. So what I'd like you to do is write down or notice something really good that's happened this week. It's easy to go off into what's not good, but the practice is gratitude. So we hunt the good stuff. So I'd like you to note down for yourself one good thing you're grateful for and why. Could be small, like you had broccoli for breakfast. I love vegetables for breakfast. Or that you had a loving conversation with someone dear and near to you. One good thing you're grateful for. And I'd like you to put that in the chat. One good thing you're grateful for. Could be a person, my friends, my virtual choir recordings, my husband spending Halloween with my niece, my mom, my son. We have to hunt the good stuff. The bad stuff is sticky. It resonates and sticks. But the good stuff, building resilience, is on purpose. My parents staying safe during the pandemic. This is great. Just hunt the good stuff. One thing you're grateful for. Improvement at PT. My pod. Yeah. Self-compassion starts with being purposeful in arriving into what there is to be grateful for. That is our resilience. It's how we build it. My pets, my plants. Excellent. This is great. So allowing ourselves gratitude practice. We created the student handbook this year. Sam and Kenzie in my office worked with our student workers and with gratitude practice for our students. And in the Compose faculty training we do as part of the Resilience Project and the Flourishing Studio, we ask faculty to keep a gratitude journal, and it's part of the Resilience Council work as well. So I offer this to you, that resilience and gratitude are part of your stress toolkit, your mediation toolkit, along with relaxation practices, breathing, and concentration, which is the focus of our attention. Having a concentrated mind is something that develops through relaxation, mindfulness, and eating well, all of it. So our next practice is a relaxation and concentration practice that we're going to do for the next 5 minutes. And it's a beautiful landscape meditation. So, for this practice, once again, we're going to use Penelope's bell to invite us into this shift and transition. So the bell is a point of focus that allows us this shift. And so, as you're ready, if you'd like to close your eyes, you're welcome to, or if you'd like to keep them open, perhaps use the image on the screen. And bringing awareness to your breath and the physical sensations of breathing. And just feeling each breath as it comes and goes. And just letting the breath breathe itself. And again, if thinking should be occurring, it's perfectly fine. If you have to escort your mind back 100 times to just resting and breathing, that's perfect. Just allow yourself to be here with your own rhythm and pace. In this moment, this wholeness of breathing. And when you're ready, either using the image on the screen or in your own mind's eye, allow an image to form in your imagination of a magnificent, beautiful mountain. Mountain that you might have visited or have seen images of. Just allowing this image of mountain to form in your mind's eye. Just gradually sensing it, feeling it. Its overall shape, its peaks and valleys, the vastness of the sky above. Just allowing this image of mountain to become clearer as you breathe, noting its qualities, observing it, and when you feel ready, seeing if you can bring the mountain into your own body. So you're sitting or standing like a mountain. Just sitting, standing like a mountain, becoming one, sharing this massive stillness, this groundedness. Each breath sitting or standing like a mountain. Your shoulders and arms, the sides of the mountain, the head, the lofty peak. Your torso rooted, solid and massive and beautiful, majestic. Breathing like a mountain, sitting like a mountain. With each breath, as you continue to sit or stand like a mountain, a breathing mountain, alive and vital, unwavering in your inner stillness, letting be and letting go. Just trusting the breath, trusting the body in this moment. This unwavering inner stillness, completely what you are, beyond words, beyond stories. Just allowing yourself to be centered and grounded in this unmoving presence. And as you sit here, the sun might travel across the sky of your mountain. Storms might come and go, and the mountain sits. Through it all, the mountain just sits, vital and alive. Calmness abiding all change through letting be and letting go in the majesty of your being. As we learn to experience the mountain, we embody this same unwavering stillness and groundedness in the face of everything that changes in our lives. The changing nature of mind and body and outer world, we have all this to create strength and stability for ourselves, this relaxation and concentration into being through intention. So just another minute of sitting like a mountain, becoming the mountain in this mindfulness practice links our inner strength and stability and capacity to encounter each moment with equanimity and clarity. So for a few more moments, this time of this practice remaining, sustaining the mountain in silence moment by moment. Till the bell signals our transition. And opening the eyes if the eyes have been closed, and breathing, knowing you're breathing. And these practices in de-stressing or mediating the stressors in our lives that we've been dipping into today, the arriving and breathing practice, noting practice, stop practice, mountain practice. All of this can be learned, and it builds a culture of well-being. Building a culture of well-being is personal and it's intentional. So, what do you need to build a culture of well being, bringing mindfulness and contemplation as intentional in your life, acceptance and kindness as part of the practice? What do you need? And as we started with, we feel and then we deal and then we heal. And that's the order. So again, if you would, put in the chat, what do you need to build a culture of well-being? I know for myself, I need to take more breaks. Do 50-minute Zoom meetings, not an hour. And take walks. So set boundaries, more walking, saying no, better pain control, time outside, time to listen to music. Remember to drink water and less coffee. Set my phone away from me more. Sleeping more. Yeah. Building a culture of well-being. Taking days off, not working through lunch or past 5, going outside more. Read novels. Yes. Dancing and playing. These are great. Exactly. Creating, building a culture of well-being is personal and intentional. So we stay in touch with, what do I need? I feel, I deal, I face it, and then I do it. So mindfulness, meditation, contemplation are about formal practice. We've done them. And informal practice is the key. We bring it into our daily lives by building a culture of well-being, which leads to compassion. Compassion is part of de-stressing. It's a mindfulness practice, compassion and joy. Compassion practice is opening our hearts and seeing each other. Seeing each other. So I see you allows me to be while I do. This is mindfulness. It allows us to mediate stress in our lives and build resilience through acceptance and kindness, through compassion and joy. And we build space for ourselves and each other to rest and attend resiliently and well. So what I'd like us to do, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen, turn my video on. And you don't have to turn your video on. We can do this through the squares. But I'd like you to turn to the square to the left of you, whether there's a face there or a name or a picture, and say silently from your heart, I see you. I am here. And then turn to the square to your right. And the same. I see you. I am here. This is a compassion practice where we acknowledge every being. And then take a moment and just greet each square in the room. Breathing and knowing you're breathing. I see you. I am here. And just notice if you're comfortable or uncomfortable, easy or difficult, or neither. So in our shared humanity, and as we learn these different techniques to mediate stress, this family of our humanity is an operating place for us to do this work with and for and with. So I'm going to share my screen one more time just so I can pull up for you our reminder. So if you would, I stick to 50-minute Zoom meetings and we have 4 minutes left. So if you would, in the chat, as we finish sharing these de-stressing, these mediation techniques with each other, this new toolkit that we're offering, if you type in one word and a phrase of how you're feeling in this moment. Listening more lighter, relaxed, connected, relaxed, calm, energized, calm, released, emotionally released, calm, grateful and open, open, rusty. Wonderful. Wherever you are, centered, grounded. So I wanted to share here, we have created a resilience, wellness, and well-being project institute-wide, and a resilience council. And this is the website that you can visit. We have resources and workshop links, and we welcome your participation in the Resilience Council, your thoughts and ideas. If you'd like to continue with mindfulness practice, there's a very simple self-guided practice I've recorded, 5 short little videos on the well-being website. And as most of you I know, but for those I don't, I never introduced myself. So I'm Rhonda Schaller, and I chair the Resilience Council. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs, and I'm a mindfulness-based stress reduction teacher and bring these practices to a lot of my work here at Pratt. And my door is always open, so please feel free. And in our remaining minute, if there's any question, you feel free to unmute yourself or comment, or simply take a moment of gratitude. Thank yourself. You made the time to come today in a busy life. And silence is beautiful in all our doing and being. You're so welcome. So take this gift of our 50-minute hour and this 10 minutes to encourage your well-being. Go for a walk. Do not check your email. It's my Jewish mother advice. Or do, because it gives you peace. And have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you soon along the way. Bye. I'm glad.
You.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone. See you soon. So glad you came.